Hello and welcome you all for a webinar on a new topic today. And today's topic is vertebral column, or what we call as vertebrae, or even it is called as spine. Vertebral column, vertebrae, spine. These are the names, the different names for all the vertebrae in our body. And during study of general astrology, I told you that there are separate 26 vertebrae, but actually there are 33 vertebrae developmentally. Due to fusion of 5 sacral and 4 coccygeal, we get number 26. 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, and 5 lumbar are always separate, but 5 sacral vertebrae they get fused to become one, and 4 coccygeal vertebrae they get fused to become one coccyx. So that is why we have this number 26. So considering 26, we call number of vertebrae in our body as 206. But actually, there are 33 different, individual separate vertebrae we call. So vertebrae together is also called as vertebral column because it's like a column, no? The column of a building. Okay, and it is also called as spine because it is a spine of human being, or it is also called as backbone. There are different names: vertebrae, vertebral column, spine, backbone. These are all the names for vertebrae. Okay, it extends from the skull and it ends in the pelvis. So from the base of the skull to the pelvis, you get a series of vertebrae, which is called as vertebral column. It consists of many vertebrae separated by fibrocartilaginous intervertebral disc. So in between the two vertebrae, there are intervertebral discs which are made up of fibrous type of cartilage. So it's called as fibrocartilaginous intervertebral discs that are connected by ligaments to the vertebrae. Okay, vertebral column forms the central axis of the skeleton, or it is also called a central axis of the human being. Okay, vertebrae supports the head and the trunk of the body. Okay, the first vertebrae is cervical one, which is also called as atlas. So it holds the globe of head, that is skull. So that means it supports the head and the body trunk. Okay, so vertebrae are flexible to permit movements. So we have a movement of the backbone because of its flexibility, and the vertebrae protect the spinal cord, which is present in the spinal, you know, central canal, which is present in the spine or in the vertebral column. So protection of spinal cord is another function. In the beginning, I told you that there are 26 number of separate vertebrae, and those are, if you collectively call them as 26, they are 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 1 sacrum, and 1 coccyx. But in development, we get we have 33 separate bones. So during your infantile age, everybody of us, we had 33 separate bones. So 5 vertebrae fused to form sacrum. So 5 sacral vertebrae you can say, and 4 coccygeal vertebrae they fuse to become one, and that is called as coccyx. So we get a sacrum and coccyx because of fusion. Okay. Now, what are the components of vertebral column? I'm repeating again and again because you should never forget it, and you should remember the chronology. 7 cervical vertebrae, then 12 thoracic vertebrae, then 5 lumbar vertebrae, then 1 sacrum, and 1 coccyx. Okay, here you can see in different colors, all those groups are shown to you: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral, and coccygeal, or sacrum and coccyx. You can see the fusion. Okay, well, actually we have to study the separate bones, each of these vertebrae, because some of them are typical and some of them are atypical in the particular group. For example, if you take cervical vertebrae, some vertebrae are typical, which usually in the middle they are typical. First one and the last one is always atypical because it has to adapt with the you know structure of the next group. So that is why we have typical and atypical in each group. So there are typical cervical vertebrae and atypical cervical vertebrae. There are typical thoracic vertebrae and atypical thoracic vertebrae. There are typical lumbar vertebrae and atypical lumbar vertebrae. But coccyx and sacrum as they are one, so you don't have any atypical and atypical in sacrum and coccyx. Please remember that. You can see the structure of the segments of the spine, for example, cervical, thoracic, and lumbar, because these are the three type groups which we have separate vertebrae. So if you take one group, they are alike in some of its features. So for example, the cervical vertebrae will always have a small body, and they will always have a foramina transverse area in the transverse process. They will always have a bifid spinous process. These are the characteristics of uh, cervical vertebrae. Okay. And in thoracic vertebrae, you see that body is little larger than the cervical and it has become heart shape. See, say heart shape. And it has got costal facets on its body and transverse process because they are articulated with the ribs. So that is their characteristic. And lumbar vertebrae have got larger bodies. Okay. This is main characteristic, and you can see other features are also absence of foramen transverse, absence of costal facet which are there on the thoracic. So absence and presence is, you have to consider while explaining the different features of different groups of vertebrae. You can see the intervertebral disc, you can see the bodies here. So in between the two vertebrae, you can see vertebral foramina for the exit and entry of spinal nerves. Okay, nerve fibers, you can say. You can see the vertebral foramina here, which passes through the, which is for the passage of spinal cord. Well, vertebral column is not straight; it has got curves. So there are four natural curves in vertebral column. You can see from anterior side, cervical curvature is convex anteriorly, and that means it is concave posteriorly. Thoracic is concave anteriorly and convex posteriorly. Lumbar is convex anteriorly and concave posteriorly. Sacral is concave anteriorly and convex posteriorly. That means you can see that it is like a spiral structure. It is like spiral structure. No, it is not straight. That means these curvatures are natural. The neck or the cervical spine curves gently inward. So it is called as lordosis. So the curvature which is anteriorly convex is called as lordosis. And the mid back or the thoracic spine curved outward. So that is backward convexity is called as kyphosis. So lordosis and kyphosis are normally present in the spine. Low back or the lumbar spine is also curved inwards called lordosis, and pelvic sacral curve is kyphosis. So lordosis, kyphosis. You remember these words, and first you remember the curvatures causing concavity and convexity on which side. You have to remember this, okay? Here you can see the cervical curve, convex, thoracic, concave. I am talking anterior, okay? Lumbar, convex, sacral, concave. So you can see all these curves with the different vertebrae here. Out of these curvatures, there are two primary curvatures and two secondary curvatures. Primary curvatures means it is what you are born with. So during the day, during birth, every person is born with a full curvature of a spine. सगळी spine अशी curve झालेली असते. Okay, that means two alternate are going to get later on secondary curvatures. The secondary curvature is what develops afterwards. The cervical becomes posteriorly concave. You can see this, it has become posteriorly concave now. And when the baby lifts its head, So when the baby wants to lift his head and hold the head, so that is called holding of the head after some period of time after the birth. And because of that, there is a, you can see that there is a posterior concavity and anterior convexity, whereas it was concave anteriorly, now it has become convex anteriorly. And lumbar becomes posterior concave when baby walks. Now this is lumbar has become posteriorly concave, which was anteriorly concave here when baby walks. So holding of the head and the walking in a baby will give two curvatures later on. So these two curvatures are called as secondary curvatures. Curvature number 1 and curvature number 3 are secondary curvatures in this adult, whereas 2 and 4 remains the same as infant. So they are called as primary curvatures. You remember this? It's very important during the study of diseases of your spine backbone. Lot of people come with a pain in back. That there are, each vertebrae has got two main parts, and the two main parts are body of the vertebra and arch of the vertebra. Each vertebra has got a body and an arch. You can see in this image. So this one is a big thing, is a body, and remaining all this is a arch. You can see arch म्हणजे कमान, एक कमान सारखा आहे ते. So this is a body and this is a arch. So this body is also called as centrum. It transfers weight along the axis separated by intervertebral discs. Okay. So from one vertebra to other vertebra, the weight is transferred along the central axis of body, and this transfer of weight takes place to the ground. That means towards the gravity. And each vertebra is separated, each body of vertebra is separated by intervertebral disc. So arch means a curve-like structure which surrounds vertebral foramen with articular processes, etc. There are many other things will come to that. And in between body of vertebra, there is intervertebral foramina also. These are the gaps between each vertebra permitting passage of nerves to or from spinal cord. So these two structures we see here, that means if you take a single vertebra, it has got these two basic parts. Well, the explanation given here fully. Parts of typical vertebra. Vertebra has mainly two parts. One is body, is anterior part because body is located anteriorly, and arch is on the back side. So it is posterior part is called as vertebral arch. Now vertebral, what you call this vertebral arch contains a vertebral foramina. This is for passage of spinal cord. You can see the cursor. I'm showing it here. And the parts of the vertebral arch, if you count from one side to the other side, one side of the arch to the other side. The first one is pedicle. After pedicle comes lamina. After lamina comes another lamina on other side, and then again pedicle. So two pedicles and two lamina. But in between pedicle and lamina, there is transverse process, and there are two articular facets, superior articular facets and inferior articular facets. Okay, you can see this superior articular facets because this is a superior view. So that means pedicle, superior articular facet, inferior articular facet, transverse process, and lamina, then spinous process, backside. And again same lamina, superior articular facet, inferior articular facet, and transverse process, and then again pedicle. So this type of structure is present in each vertebra, any vertebra. But depending upon their location, they have features of the group that will come later on. Here you can see the arch of the vertebra is shown in different colors. Body is white, so we'll skip this. We talk about only vertebral arch. So this green portion, you can see here the captions are given with colors. Pedicles are in green color. Transverse processes are in red color. Superior articular facets are seen here. Okay, and superior articular facets are seen means on the lower side there are inferior articular facets. Okay, so superior articular facets are also called as superior articular processes. They are up and below, so superior and inferior. So you can see this yellow. Then you can see the lamina, which is in purple color. And finally, there is one spinous process. So these are all processes also you can call them. Transverse process, articular process, spinous process, and two joining structures like pedicle and lamina. Looking at this vertebra, because I have studied all the vertebrae, so I can tell you whether this vertebra belongs to cervical group or thoracic group or lumbar group. Only three groups we have to talk because other two groups are fused. So there is no question of considering them here, right here, when we talk about an individual vertebra. So this, I think, in my opinion, this is a lumbar vertebra because it has got a large body and there are certain things which are absent. You can see the triangular vertebral foramen as another feature. So likewise, we have to study the features of different vertebrae now. Now let us talk about cervical vertebrae first. Cervical vertebrae comprise the bony axis of the neck. So they are forming the axis of the neck and it is made up of bone. And they are smallest of the vertebrae. That means amongst all the vertebrae present in your body, except, the coccyx, these are the smallest, and but the tissues are dense, they are tough than those in any other region because they are holding the head, okay, and they allow for 180-degree range of movement like this and like this, okay, so they are highly mobile as compared to other vertebrae. Out of the seven cervical vertebrae, C1, C2, and C7 are atypical. That means they are not alike. They are different in their features. There are certain things which are different from rest of the cervical vertebrae means C3, C4, C5, C6. So remaining four vertebrae are typical. So when you consider C3 and any other from C3 to C6, all the features are same. Now we have to study only these three, C1, C2, C7. So C1 is called as Atlas. Atlas holds up the head and it has got no body and no spine as such. There are spine and body nahi hai. And it pivots around the dens of the axis. So dented process of the axis vertebra below forms the body of first vertebra actually because they are almost fused. And axis means C2 during the development partly fused with the atlas. Atlas is a name derived from Atlas person, imaginary god of Greek, one who holds the earth. पूर्वीच्या लोकांना असं वाटायचं की ह्या पृथ्वीला खालून कोणीतरी धरून ठेवलेला आहे खांद्यावरती असं, आणि तो खांद्यावर धरणारा मनुष्य हा ॲटलास आहे आणि हे ग्लोब आहे पृथ्वी, आणि ती ॲटलास नावाची देवता आहे ती पृथ्वीला अशी धरून ठेवलेली आहे. तसंच हे C1 वर्टिब्रा जो आहे तो आपल्या हेडला धरून ठेवतो म्हणून त्याला ॲटलास नाव पडलेलं आहे. ॲक्सिस बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स function because it works as an axis, especially due to odontite process. It looks like a axis. And another vertebra last is vertebra prominence. The name itself tells us that it is a most prominent vertebra because it has got a prominent spinous process. If you put your finger on the back and try to palpate, you will not palpate C1 to C6. You will palpate only C7 because it is prominent. It has got a prominent spinous process. So well, now you can see the atlas is almost like a ring. So you can see that the body is almost absent, whereas there is a place for the articular facet for dense process or odontite process of the axis vertebra. Now this one is a superior view and this one is the inferior view. It is almost a ring. The spinous process, just see the spinous process. It is almost absent. Instead, there is a posterior tubercle here, anterior tubercle, posterior tubercle. But the feature of foramina transverse cerium is very uh, uh, easily noticeable in C1 vertebra, and the uh, vertebral foramina is very big because the spinal cord has, on the contrary, the medulla oblongata lower part and upper part of spinal cord. Okay, so that is why this foramina, below the foramina magnum comes vertebral foramina of C1, and you can see the axis. Axis has got this feature. This is called as dens, or it's also called as odontite process. Actually, this is a developmentally this is a part of first vertebra. पहिल्या वर्टिब्राची जी बॉडी असते ना ती ह्यानी काढून घेतलेली असते असं त्याचा अर्थ आहे फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ मुवमेंट्स, आणि त्याच्यानंतर मग अटलांटो ॲक्सियल जॉईंट होतो and it is called as pivot joint. So this is the atlantoaxial joint of pivot variety, synovial joint of pivot variety, and it has got articular facets for the superior articular facet for the articulation with the atlas, and you can see the foramen transverse in spinous process. And actually, spinous process is bifid in this vertebra, more marked. Okay, and you can see the atlantoaxial joint. It is called as a pivot joint. So you can see the axis through a rod shown here, axis of rotation. Okay, and you can see other joints atlantoaxial. They are through the facets, articular facets असतात ना. एक 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 वर्टिब्रा दुसऱ्या वर्टिब्राची तीन ठिकाणी जॉईन करतो, एक बॉडीचा आणि दोन आर्टिक्युलर फॅसेटचा. सो ऑल थ्री ऑफ देम आर इंटरव्हर्टिब्रल जॉईंट्स. बॉडी मधला आपण त्याला म्हणतो फायब्रस जॉईंट आणि फॅसेट मधला आपण म्हणतो प्लेन व्हरायटी ऑफ सायनल जॉईंट्स. आय हॅव टोल्ड दॅट ऑल इन ड्युरिंग द स्टडी ऑफ आर्थ्रोलॉजी. And this is a this is a typical cervical vertebra. So 3 to 6 they are all like this. They are having a big, foramen transverse cilium, and the cavity, that is vertebral foramina, as you go downwards will go on decreasing. There is a spina bifida here, and you can see the articular facets are directed upwards, superior, and inferior directed downwards, and so on. And this one is 7 cervical vertebra, which is a typical atypical vertebra because it has got the longest spinous process, and the bifid is less here. You can see the bifid is not clearly seen, whereas it is clearly seen in bifid here. Fourth page comparison la anlay baga. So this is a typical vertebra, and as compared to typical vertebra, it has got some different features, so it is categorized as atypical, mainly the spinous process. And now it is going to adapt with the T1, so it will show some features of thoracic vertebra. So vertebra prominence means 7 cervical vertebra. So we have finished all cervical vertebrae here. The distinct features of cervical vertebrae is what you call transverse processes of cervical vertebrae are distinct because of transverse foramina. So there are hole in the transverse process for the passage of arteries to the brain, and those are vertebral arteries. And plus the spinous process is bifid for the attachment of muscles in the neck, because muscles in the neck are required for the strain. And vertebral prominence is longer and protrudes behind other cervical vertebrae and can be palpated through the skin. If you put your finger there, you can palpate it very easily, so it is called a vertebral prominence. Now we go to thoracic vertebra. There are 12 thoracic vertebrae. They are larger than cervical vertebrae. They are having long pointed spinous processes which slopes downwards. Okay, you can see it is sloping downwards. You can see here it is long, but they are increasing loads of body weight due to the increase in the body size of the vertebra. So now you are in the vertebral region, means they are all having articulation with the thoracic cage through the ribs. That means on the side you will see that there are costal facets. You can see these costal facets. Ribs पण joint होतात ना ह्या 12 So that is the main costal facet, is a main feature of thoracic vertebra. Okay. Hey, yaar, start. Okay. Out of 12 thoracic vertebrae, there are typical and atypical groups. So first thoracic vertebra and 9, 10, 11, 12, जे शेवटचे 4. So first and last 4, they make uh, a typical group. Okay, atypical. You can see here. And remaining second to 8 are typical. So there are so many 12 of them. So 2 ते 8 हे typical आहेत. First 9, 10, 11, 12 हे atypical. There are demi-facets on the side of the body to articulate with ribs. तर आपण costal facet ला आपण demi-facet पण म्हणतो. Okay, compression, dislocation, fractures of vertebrae occur between thoracic and lumbar area due to heavy weight bearing. So this is the area of heavy weight bearing. So these things are common there. Now thoracic vertebrae are 12, but they are recognized by the presence of costal facets on the sides of the body and transverse process. You can see this is the costal facet on the body, and this is the costal facet on the transverse process. So these are the characteristics of this thoracic vertebrae, presence of these two. So they are for the purpose of articulation with the ribs. 12 rib hai na? So they have 12. Now, atypical will show some different features. So we classify them as typical second to 8 and atypical first 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Here you can see 2 to typical vertebra, 2 to 9th vertebra is also like 8. Some author consider as a typical. But if you see the T12 is shown here. It will show the absence of costal facet on the transverse process. There is only costal facet on the body. So there is a difference again between these atypical vertebrae. So these differences you have to find out. At least you should know that uh, 9 or 9, 10, 11, 12 or 10, 11, 12 and 1. So this as per this slide 1, 10, 11 आणि 12 म्हणजे 4 vertebrae हे atypical आहे. Okay. So depends upon author also. So some say the 9 is also atypical. You can see the atypical thoracic vertebra and this is T12. You can see the absence of costal facet on the transverse process. There is only present on the body. And plus this T12 is going to adapt features of the L1. But now L1 is going to come. So it is having big body. Okay. Now lumbar vertebrae are 5 and they are present in the small of the back. What we see the lower part of the back is also called as small of the back. It supports more weight because of larger and stronger bodies. So big bodies this vertebrae have got. Transverse processes projects posteriorly at sharp angles. The transverse process of other vertebrae were laterally. Now here they are posteriorly. Laterally and posteriorly. Look at my hands. And they have got a large bodies. Short spinous processes are nearly horizontal. They provide surface area for muscle attachment of the lower back muscles. Smaller vertebral foramina, because vertebral foramina is very big in cervical. As you come downwards, the size of the vertebra body increases, but the size of the vertebral column decreases. Oh, sorry, vertebral foramina, vertebral canal, you can say, decreases. So injuries like compression of the vertebrae, slip discs are very common in this area. Out of 5 lumbar vertebrae, first and fourth vertebrae are first to 4 vertebrae are typical. That means only one vertebra, that is fifth vertebra is atypical. 1 ते 4 एकसारखे असतात, पाचवा खूप वेगळा असतो, त्यामुळे तो अटिपिकल आहे. So this lumbar vertebrae, they do not have foramina transversarum at the transverse process just like cervical vertebrae. They do not have costal facets on the body of the vertebrae just like thoracic vertebrae. Okay, and the fifth vertebra is a typical lumbar vertebra. Typical lumbar vertebra has got larger body, wider from side to side. Look at this. And vertebral foramina is triangular. You can see this triangular, whereas it was circular in cervical vertebrae. Here it is triangular and small. Okay, larger in thoracic vertebrae, smaller than in cervical vertebrae. You can see this lumbar vertebra here. Okay. And we'll go to sacral vertebrae now. I told you that there are 5 sacral vertebrae, but they fuse to form one sacrum and sacral vertebrae originate as separate vertebrae during birth, but they complete fusion by age of 25. If you are younger than 18 years of age, they are not yet fused properly. So one who is completed the age of 25, sometimes it takes up to the age of 30. 18 ते 30 वर्षापर्यंत fusion आहे. So that means all children, they have got separate sacral vertebrae. Okay, and sacrum जेव्हा तयार होतो त्याला मग म्हणतो आपण dorsal sacral foramina for the blood vessels passage, and sacral promontory is present on the first sacral vertebra. Sacral canal is an opening present inside it. Sacral hiatus is opening at the end of the sacrum, and sacral foramina 4 pairs that provide passage ways for blood vessels and nerves. Now you can see those in this diagram. Well, here the diagram comes. The sacrum, you get one piece in a set of bone set. You can show that anterior part of sacrum is concave. Okay, posterior part is convex. Upper part is broader, lower part is uh, what do you call, smaller, and it looks like a triangle, or you can say it looks like a pyramid, okay, inverted. And uh, and diagram I will show now. Okay, this problem here. You can see this sacrum, anterior and posterior view. You can see the sacral promontory here, and you can see the articular surface of the coccyx opposite to that, and you can see the ala of the sacrum. They are looking like ala of the nose. So ala. Here you can see the sacral canal from posterior side, and here you can see the sacral opening from lower side, sacral hiatus. This is called a sacral hiatus. This is sacral cornu. Okay, superior articular facets, dorsal and ventral sacral foramina. Okay, well, and you can see that below the sacrum there is a coccyx. Usually coccyx bones are quite fragile because they are mostly made up of spongy bone, and usually you don't get them in a bone set. ते सापडत नाही, इतके फ्रॅजाइल असतात की ते नष्ट होतात. You have to preserve them properly. You can see the coccyx here is made up of 4 coccygeal vertebrae. याच्यामध्ये पण promontory दाखवलेला आहे. You can see the sacral canal, you can see the sacral hiatus, you can see the spinous processes in terms of tubercle of median sacral crest. Okay, and coccyx originates as 4 coccygeal vertebrae and fuse as one bone, and it's called as coccyx. Separate as a coccygeal. See the difference in spelling. Fusion of time varies. So after fusion of sacrum, they are attached by ligament to the margins of the sacral hiatus. And here you can see in red color. This is coccyx. It is also called as tailbone. Like how the vertebral column is called as backbone. Coccyx is called as tailbone. The coccyx is not available in the bone set, so you don't have to study it separately. But sacrum you have to study. Sacrum is asked in examination. You have to tell the side, anterior side, posterior side, sacral promontory, all the sacral foramina, hiatus opening, and all the stuff. And with this, my dear students, we in today's webinar on vertebrae, because we have decided to study the neck, and in the neck we have to know the cervical vertebrae. But I decided to take all the vertebrae together, and that is why actually I have decided to complete the total study of vertebrae today. And with this, I thank you. Thanks a lot for patiently listening to me. And this is the end of today's program. We'll come back tomorrow with another topic, new topic on the anatomy of neck. Thank you. Thanks a lot. See you back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Have a nice day.